Hello, this problem is asking us for the function f of x is equal to 7 plus 1 over x. It says A, graph the rational function using transformations, and then use the graph to find the domain and range, and then use the graph to list any vertical, horizontal, or oblique asymptotes. So first we have to recognize what is the base function here. The base function is one we discussed in class, which is the function f of x is equal to 1 over x. So first thing you would do here is to graph that base function. And 1 over x is a function that looks like this. It goes through this point 1, comma 1. And it looks like this in the first quadrant. And it also goes through the point -1, comma 1. And it looks like this in the third quadrant. And this function has two asymptotes, a horizontal asymptote here, and that's the line x is equal to 0. And it also has a vertical asymptote right here, and that is the line y is equal to 0. So both x and y axes are asymptotes for this function. So now we have to ask ourselves what happens to this function. Well, to go from here to here, what happened is that we added 7 to the function. And we know that this means we have a vertical shift of 7 units in the positive direction, or up. So that's exactly what's going to happen to this function. It's going to go up by 7 units. So every point will be shifted up 7 units. So starting with the points, so this point is going to go up 7 units. So from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So instead of going from 1, 1, it's going to be the point right here, which is 1, comma 8. The horizontal asymptote, since everything is shifting up, this horizontal asymptote is also going to shift up 7 units. So instead of being the line at x equals 0, it's going to be the line right here at x is equal to 7. And finally, that point also down here is going to shift up. So everything in this graph shifts up 7 units. So that point, instead of, sorry, this was -1, comma -1, not -1. So instead of being at -1, comma -1, it's going to go up, add 7 units. So that's going to go right here at -1, comma 6. Now, when you shift up, the vertical asymptotes is not going to change. Shifting up doesn't change the vertical direction of it. So our vertical asymptote stays the same here. This here is our horizontal asymptote. So our vertical asymptote is still going to be the line y is equal to 0. And the graph of this function is going to look like this, which is the same graph, only shifted 7 units up. So let's figure out what they ask us to do. Find a domain and range. So the domain is going to be all x values except that x cannot be, this vertical asymptote. Sorry guys, I switched it up. Horizontal asymptote has the equation y is equal to c. So this horizontal asymptote over here has the equation y equals 0. This vertical asymptote has the equation x is equal to 0. Similarly, this is x equals 0, and this is y is equal to 7. I apologize, it's early in the morning. Still haven't woken up. Okay, so the domain is the set of all x values except 0. The range is the set of all y values except this y value here. Y is equal to 7. That cannot be part of our range. And the horizontal and vertical asymptotes. So the vertical asymptote, we have one vertical asymptote at x equals 0, and we have one horizontal asymptote. You can read it right from the graph. The horizontal asymptote here is the line y is equal to 7.